So we're gonna open it up today and try to reach out and find out what's going on in society. What is your definition of domestic violence? Because there's a lot of different forms of domestic violence out here in America today, as we know. So I just want to open it up with you and ask you a question. How do you see domestic violence being distributed out? What's the definition to you? Like, there's physical violence, there's mental, there's verbal, all of it.
You just asked me a question, but you're going to answer it.
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, what is your definition? What do you have to say? Why you always got to be a...
Because you asked me the question and then you
I didn't just answer it. See, we about to get violent out here right now already.
There's physical, there's verbal, there's mental.
Yeah.
So there are different. There are all types of different violence, different ways
scenarios.
of being. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is your actual question for me?
Like, have you ever experienced domestic violence yourself?
We already talked about that. Yes, I have.
I don't remember talking to you about it.
We had a conversation about it.
We had a conversation. Yes. But tell us, how'd you get away from it? Because it seems like a lot of people having trouble getting away from domestic violence type situations. It's like they get away and then they go back. You know what I mean? And that is weird to me. Like, that's weirdo energy. Like, how are you in a domestic violence relationship, but you go back? Once you're free, you're free.
That's not weirdo energy. You initially were asking why women go back to situations where they're being abused. That was your initial question.
Yeah.
I remember you asking that, and I did have a lot of different answers for you. I definitely want to make sure that we're being very sensitive in this subject. For the most part.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I can hear you. For the most part, what?
Okay. So for the most part, it just depends. Like, you have married women who are being abused that go back to the situation. And I think that they go back to the situation because they go back for convenience. It's because I feel like it's something that they're used to. They get used to it. It's not a great thing, and when other people see it from the outside looking in, they're like, dang, why she keep going back? Well, that's all she knows. That's what she's comfortable with. And then you have another situation where there could be a woman who has children. The reason why she stays in that abusive relationship is for the kids. She's not staying in an abusive relationship for herself. So it could be somewhere in the past where something in her mind said, my kids are not going to be without a father, because maybe something happened in her life, and she felt like it could have been better if there was a father around. So that's why women with children, why I feel that women with children stay in the situation. But if it's a single woman, it could be a situation where she was being,
kept well kept.
She could either be well kept, or it could be a situation where she feels like, this is all I have. This is the only person. So it's a mental thing, right?
Right. That's
the mental. They hold
like
them mentally because you don't have anything with them. You don't have any children. So, and another person's mind is like, dang, why can't you just leave your situation? Right?
Right. Exactly. That's what we be wondering as men, because it's like they're getting younger and younger, and a lot of that falls on the daddies in the household as well, because at the end of the day, if you teach your daughter better, she's going to do better. And number two, she needs to know that you're going to always be there for her.
Nope.
So it don't make no sense to be a daddy who was a deadbeat, and then you hear there's something going on with your daughter and you wondering why she ain't talk to you, because at the end of the day, you weren't there. How can she be there for you? And it starts right there at the house. So, when I see this, I'm just like, why? Because the little boys, they don't know no better. They've been raised in a single home, or some have been raised by the streets, so they think that's how you handle a woman. You got to know how to handle a woman. You got to know how to appreciate and respect your woman.
That all depends on how his mother was. I completely believe that a son learns his tenderness from his mother. You know, like if your mother was not no the opposite direction. So it's like if I feel like if your mom wasn't tender with you, like we teach you guys how to love women. Do you know that? No, it's a thing. We really, when we're being comforting to you when you're hurt, or we're nurturing you, we're teaching you those things because those are things that you need to display with the woman.
But see, that's where I guess moms go wrong too, because as a man, when you reach a certain age, no, listen, let me talk before we have a domestic violence situation. No, just kidding. Okay, this is a serious matter. So my wife and I, we joke a lot. That's not that we joke about. So with that being said, I guess I just want to reach out to the children. Like when I say children, I mean like young teenagers that call themselves in love, because it doesn't make sense to call yourself being in love at 14, 15, and this little boy is smacking you in your face. That goes into adulthood, and eventually the dude is going to kill you. You got to know when to get away. When is enough? Enough is enough. You got to know when to call it quits. As a teenager, if you don't know how to be respected, then you're going to stand for whatever comes your way, right? You're going to allow this boy to choke you out, cheat on you. Then for a young woman, they should have more respect for themselves because they want to run up and fight another girl over a little boy that ain't doing nothing for them.
But you have to understand that those are our learning ages, okay? So when we're teenagers, we're learning. And then, yes, you do have that situation. But right there at that tender age, you have maybe a guy whose mom didn't give him what he needed in order to know that, oh, this is how I'm supposed to treat women. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you got a girl who doesn't know, who probably didn't have a father or a male figure in her life that was positive, because we can have male figures in our life, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're inputting wisdom in, in our minds. Let me finish.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go
ahead. Okay, so then you have those two people, and then they get together, and what type of relationship do you think that's going to be? It's definitely going to be toxic, because he doesn't know how to treat a woman, and she doesn't know how she's supposed to be treated. Right? So she's going to accept anything because she doesn't know. But again, that's her learning phase. She's learning. And somebody eventually along the way is going to come along and say, hey, this is unacceptable. Somebody is going to say it. But until that somebody says it, she's going to take it because she doesn't know any different.
And with that being said, them not knowing any different also causes problems, because when somebody does come along and tell them, hey, this ain't right, you don't want to hear it. It's like, oh, you run back and tell the very idiot that's been whooping your butt what somebody said, which causes friction. So now this person's on hiatus and ready to fight whoever's been trying to wake you up. And then not only that, they might beat you up for being too friendly with somebody, It's like the jealousy at an early age has to stop. Like, that's where it starts at. If you're not secure enough in who you are, maybe you shouldn't date anybody.
They don't know when they're teenagers.
I understand they don't know, babe.
What is what?
But enough's enough, because you can turn on any TV today and see where some young girl has been shot in her face. So honestly, we got to start before the teenage years, because when you're a teenager, at this point in the game, it's already too late. We got teenagers killing teenagers for the sake of in the name of love, and that has to stop, because it's like that's a pandemic within itself, because this is worldwide. First of all, how can you, again, as a young man, claim to love somebody that you can't even take care of? You understand me? It's purely physical. You're not doing anything for somebody.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the young boys. They think they own these girls that they date, right? But what are you doing to call yourself her boyfriend? Like, other than maybe sleeping with her or walking her to class or something like that. Are you paying bills? Like, you might have a baby, but are you taking care of your baby?
A teenage girl doesn't require you to pay bills. It's not a requirement.
Exactly. So how can you call it a relationship? And how can you, as a young man, try to be possessive over something that you don't take care of, that you can't take care of?
the men, I mean, at that age, you have to understand they don't have control of their their jealous rages.
Yeah, and that's
I don't believe that. I mean, again, it goes back to how nurturing your mother was to you. If your mom was nurturing to you, you're gonna know off top, hey, if I'm in this situation, then I know I need to talk to her about this, or I need to talk to her about that. Versus, let me punch her in the face. Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't buy it. Because, see, a mama can be nurturing all she wants, but that's the only thing the man sees is my mama, my mama. Now he's a mama's boy, and all he respects is his mama. He don't know how to respect his woman. So it's bigger than what a mama shows a boy.
I mean, I don't think that I'm not saying that it's not important that a father is involved, but in the nurturing, well, no, that's not true. It is very important that a father is involved in the nurturing process as well. But it's different. It's too, it's too different.
Exactly.
But you, as a father, you can't just look for the mother to be the one who's nurturing, the one who's caring, the one who's coddling. You can't look at the mother. You need to offer that as a man as well, right?
Exactly. And you got to teach your son, hey, son, sometimes you got to walk away from certain situations out here. Because a mother, sometimes, mothers raise children on emotion. And I don't mean no disrespect by that in any way. But a lot of women raise their children on emotion. So it's like, what do you do if somebody talking shit to you? Oh, no, you don't take that. You teach them blah, 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 blah. Well,
I mean, what you're saying sounds like it's very important. So can you please elaborate on what you're saying? You saying when the mother is telling the child not to take any noise, not to take any shit?
If a mother's telling her son not to take shit from anybody, when she says the word anybody, there's no distinction between male or female, right? So as a father, you would tell your son differently, hey, don't take no shit from nobody, right? Including your woman, but you don't. If a woman get to tripping, you walk out and leave her. You just leave her where she at because she's not ready for you. A mom might tell you, son, if a woman hits you back, she putting herself in a man's place, you hit her back.
I've never heard that. Women do not. That is not something that we tell our boys.
That's something you don't tell your boy.
No,
but
I've never heard that.
I've heard this. I've heard somebody tell their sons that.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
Because that's important. I mean, I've never heard that before in my whole entire life.
Today's mothers teach their kids to hit. And one
hit
of the
girls too?
Hit anybody, because the kids always feel like respect. That's a whole nother subject. We're not going to get off onto it, because for some reason kids got this ideology that respect is earned, not given. Whereas I was always taught to give my elders respect, right? So as a daddy talking to, let's say, your daughter's boyfriend, right? He don't got no respect for you. That's the problem. So if I'm telling you as my daughter's boyfriend, hey man, I don't care what you do, don't put your hands on my daughter. And he goes and puts his hands on my daughter. Now I'm forced to act because he didn't respect what I asked him not to do, right? So now you wondering why I'm going to prison for doing what I did to him as a result of our conversation, because of the respect is earned, not given. I don't feel like, well, I'm going to respect you at the end of the day, or at the beginning and the end of the day. I'm going to always give you respect as a young man or young woman or whatever you do. But you're going to respect me as well as your senior. So if I'm giving you advice, try to listen, because I'm trying to keep you out of jail or keep you out of a grave. Putting your hands on a woman, that's just not it. Talking crazy to your woman is not it. Which, let's talk about that. That's another thing that's pretty common out here. Men cuss their women out. I've seen the younger generation call their women bitches, and the women are going for that. Like, how can you call your woman your bitch?
It all goes back to what they've experienced. It
No,
all goes back to what they're accepting of.
Accepting of, maybe, but I couldn't just be like, you couldn't be sitting there and I could be talking to my homeboy and be like, yo, yeah, this is my bitch right here.
Right, but that's only because me personally, I have established those rules off top. You know what I mean? But you have some women that when they hear it a few times, they don't really acknowledge it. So the man, in his mind, he's like, I can do this. I can do this. This is what I can do. And she's not going to get upset about it.
And she wait till he call her a bitch out of anger.
Right,
Then
but it's like
well, that's no difference. He been calling you bitch all the time. So if he get mad, I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Oh, nigga, I ain't no bitch.
Yeah,
I'm confused now. Like, that's a big signal. Yeah, it's a whole mixed signal, man. Like, yo, you gonna let the man calling you a bitch any other time, but then when he get mad, it's a problem. Now you mad because y'all arguing and he call you a bitch. Come on, man. Look, respect is respect. At the end of the day, that's not respectful. A bitch is a dog. You think are you dating a female dog? What's up? I know I'm dating a queen. I don't know. I'm married to a queen. Fuck that.
Because I was about to say, who you dating?
Don't be ridiculous. But you know, that's just one of those topics that's just been on my mind. Like, where do we get off with that? Because now, let's say, as a parent, your child comes and says, "Oh, well, he's beating me," and then you get involved, and then she goes back. Then he beats her again. She comes. Then she goes back, and eventually, somebody ends up dead. Whether it be your child or the boyfriend, somebody ends up dead, and that's still unacceptable because we had a chance to do something about it. And sometimes they just suffer in silence. That's the worst. Like, if you need to learn to pay attention to what's going on in your child's life, parents. And also, as a parent, you need to watch the examples you set for your children. I'm not trying to preach to anybody or anything like that, but at the end of the day, this is real life we talking about. And it is what it is. This domestic violence is out of hand out here. This violence is out of hand, period. You know, you teach your daughters and your sons to date people that are going to be a pillar in society, if you will, for lack of better words, right? Because it's also so often, far too often, that you hear somebody's gotten caught up in a crossfire because they call themselves dating the so-called hustler. He's a big-time drug dealer. Man, this dude don't give a damn about nothing. Nobody. You know, you just want a mini. If you get caught in the crossfire, that's it. That's also a part of domestic violence because you're used as a human shield, right? He keeps somebody with him to deflect rounds. If somebody come at him, he can get behind whoever he got with him. You got to watch the company you keep. This is all part of the domestic violence cycle. I'm not going to sit here and say that there's such thing as a perfect relationship because there's not. But there's a such thing as a good way to handle situations. Like, we have this rule. We never go to bed mad. Never in our house. We never leave the house mad. The reason being, because as adults, we can sit down and talk about whatever we need to talk about. Also, if you leave the house mad, you're vulnerable, right? You're vulnerable. So somebody catch you in a vulnerable state, you're going to end up doing something you're going to regret eventually anyway. That's something that we need to address. What do you feel about it, babe? Oh, what's up? Don't just be sitting there looking upside my head. What you got to say?
Because you're talking. You didn't ask me
I
any
told
questions.
you, what
you're
did you
making
think?
A statement.
Hey, I said, what do you think about it?
What do I think about what?
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all got to see this domestic stuff going on over here. It's not really domestic
What do I think
violence.
about what? Ask me the question. You're making statements, so I'm trying not to interrupt you.
Oh, well. I was just asking a question about what do you think? How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about what?
About what I just said, babe.
I mean, those are your opinions. Those are your personal opinions, and you're entitled to them. I just, I don't feel that, like I said, I think that it starts with what we are accustomed to.
Yeah.
In our homes. It starts there. A boy is not going to put his hands on a girl unless somebody
in an ideal
tells
situation, yeah.
I mean, you asked me a question.
What you got?
Let me answer it. I'm like, a boy is not going to put his hands on a girl if the mom teaches him young, hey, don't put your hands on a girl. It starts there. It's not even just that. It's everything. When you're teaching your kids, hey, this is what's right, this is what's wrong, they learn that from you. I mean, then they go to school, and they have to adjust to everything that other parents have taught their children as well, though. You know what I mean? Because Just because you're teaching your kids, hey, don't put your hands on her, doesn't mean that she's not watching her mom hit her daddy, and then the little girl comes to school putting her hands on a boy. And then if you are communicating with your son's then gonna come home to you and say, "Mom, you told me not to hit girls, but this girl put her hands on me."
Right.
And then you have to clear it up. You have to say, then you have to explain to them, well, people are raised differently, you know, but I'm still telling you at the end of the day, you keep your hands off of her. So then when you give your children direction, the next thing is, okay, well, I need a resolution. You know, I need a solution to this. You're saying don't put my hands on her. What, you want her to hit me every day? No. When she puts her hands on you, I want you to make the right choices. I need you to go and let somebody know, hey, she's putting her hands on me. I'm just letting you know that she keeps putting her hands on me. And they're going to fix the situation.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And see, again, guys and gals, we've been talking as if it's just a one-sided street, like men are the only ones that hit women. That's not what this is, because there are women out here that beat up on men too. So let me put that out here. Young ladies, you need to keep your hands to yourself. Don't put your hands on your man, because, you know, men are men regardless, and there ain't no woman that can whoop a man. Let's just be truthful. And then you mess around and get the man that don't care, and then when he hits you back, then he wrong, right? You done provoked him and he wrong. Because every man ain't taught to walk away from being hit.
That's exactly what we were just discussing.
Exactly. But I mean, you know, like I said, you got these women out here that's a little high strong, want to, you pussy, you bitch, you know, and they want to put their hands on him. And that ain't right. Like, so somebody need to teach them
not to be verbally abusive. Not to
be verbally and physical, because when they verbal, they getting physical because they're emotional. They're acting on emotions.
Again, it starts at home.
Emotional abuse, which is, I don't know which is worse. I mean, all abuse is bad, but like I said, you got the physical, you got the mental, and you got that verbal abuse. And I think mental may be the worst of all three. For the simple fact, mental is embedded in your memory. So you're going to always remember that. And your self-esteem is always going to be a little lower than what it should be. So when that happens, how do you deal with the mental abuse and the stress of it all? Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Deshaun? You just, I don't know. What do you do in a mental situation? Because you always feel like somebody love you, but you like, oh, maybe they'll change. You always feel like you can change somebody, right? So how can you change somebody who is unwilling to change, right? How would you put up with mental abuse or any kind of abuse for that matter? I know you, so I'm just asking the question so everybody else can get an understanding of how this works. Would you personally put up with that crap?
I mean, personally, no. I mean, but off top, I'm going to pay attention to just the type of person you are. I'm going to ask you the initial questions when we first start dating. Hey, I'm going to be paying attention to the way you interact with your mom. You know, that's just me as a woman. Most women should pay attention to the way a man interacts with his mom or his sisters. That's how you know if he knows how to treat a girl, you know, or a woman. Because if you see him constantly arguing with his sister, for what?
Wait a minute now. That, you know, sisters always, no, I don't argue with my sister.
You must, because I saw that
we argued before, but it ain't we don't always argue. I mean, what I say is what I mean, and that's what that is.
So you think
I'm always right? Yes. You know I'm always right. That's why you with me. What? What is it? You looking at me like I'm wrong when I'm always right. How can I be wrong when I'm always right? Talk to me, y'all. But no. So she always looks at how a man interacts with his family members, his mom, sister, other women in the family.
His aunties. If anybody is dropping knowledge, you know what I mean? But if if it's a guy and I see, I mean, that's just how I'm going to look at it. I'm looking like, I want to ask you questions. Do you have any sisters? No. Do you have any brothers? Oh, okay. You know, just the initial questions. Is your mom and your dad, are they together? No. Oh, okay. You know, that's just me. I ask a lot of questions before I'm entering a relationship because I want to make sure that it's a situation that I'm comfortable with.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not comfortable if I hear you on the phone talking crazy to your mama and then you get off the phone, you're like, yeah, she blah 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 blah.
Dang, if he don't care about her, how can he possibly care about you, right?
She carried you for 9 months. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How is it that you're disrespectful or you don't love this person in a certain way, regardless of how your mom even handles you? You know, you should definitely know how to love on your mom. If you don't know how to love on your mom, I don't think that you would be really good in relationships with women ever, unless there's a change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you have, and you'll notice that with men who have issues with their mom, it's so hard for them to have relationships with women. Actually, it's difficult for them to just have relationships with people.
Those are pretty much your mama's boys, though. The cats is always looking for their mama to do everything, like wash their clothes and things of that nature. People that their mamas always want them to relate to them, even though he talks crazy to her. She's always like, he can't do no wrong, basically. These men can basically do no wrong in their mama's eyes. So that means if you, as an abused woman, go talk to the mama, guess what reaction you gonna get from the mama? Oh, baby, he just being a man. That's what you're gonna get, because at the end of the day,
if you're getting he's just being a man from the mom, again, that stems from what she's experienced in her life. That stems from what she's seen, what she's heard. You know, that's where that comes from. That's why I said it's so important to break generational, things that are happening down the line. I didn't want to say generational curses, but it
is what it is. At the end of the day, it's a generational curse.
Somebody has to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. Or somebody can't, you can't just keep catering to the crazies in your family and going, oh, well, this person is crazy, but we already know he always like that. That's just the kind of person he is. And then everybody around him is going, oh, he all right. And then when he flip out and do something crazy, nobody's shocked, but they're still looking, trying to have his back. Oh, he all right.
I knew he was gonna fuck her up. I knew it, man. He been that way all his life. Or when she flip out and hurt him, oh, she been crazy all her life.
Been crazy.
He didn't know. I told him. Everybody always told you, but you didn't listen. Is the key. If you listen, let's just be real. Cut the bullshit. You ain't told nobody nothing. A lot of y'all be dropping hints, but people don't catch hints, man. They think it's a jokey joke. It's not a joke. I'm gonna tell you, my kid crazy. I'm tell hey, I didn't raise him that way, but he will hit a woman. So I'm gonna let you know that now. You take that and do what you will with it. Or hey, I didn't raise her that way, but she likes to fight. Please don't hit her back, but get away from her. Get away from her before you do that. Yeah. Things like that. Because it seems like the toxic relationships seem to be the thing that everybody wants these days.
I just feel like people don't know how to resolve conflict. Conflict resolution is something, again, that we learn early on. Mm-hmm. You learn that. But if you have somebody in your ear saying, this is how this should be resolved, somewhere in your mind, even if you're a boy and your mom is like, if she hit you, hit her back, something in your mind should say, no, that's not a good idea. Because I remember being told, oh, if somebody hit you, put your hands on them. But that's not the way that, I don't feel that way. Even though it was told to me all my life, somebody put their hands on you, put your hands back on them. But that's not the way that, I don't feel like that's the best way to resolve issues. And that's just me, honestly. Like, you really have to push me for me to want to put my hands on you. You really, really have to push me. Don't look like that.
What?
I'm not talking about you.
I ain't saying that.
I'm serious. It's serious. You want to have a serious conversation, so we're having a serious conversation,
yes,
okay? Conflict resolution, teaching your children how to resolve conflict at an early age is so important, because you see when they get older, when they're in their teenage years, if a guy is having a, if he's having a conversation with his female and she gets loud, whoa, to him that could be a trigger, right?
Yeah.
So I'm putting my hands on you because I feel like you're being aggressive. I feel attacked, right? That's human. He's human, right? Or she goes to swing on him and he's swinging back.
Yeah.
He's gonna hit harder. She should know in a situation, you watch your tone. You know what I mean?
What's going on,
and
man?
you don't put your hands on anybody. You understand what I'm saying? And then as a man, the man should know. He should know, hey, this is how you resolve it. Either you're gonna walk away, or you're going to know how to de-escalate the situation, right?
Right.
And that's just what I think.
Yeah, I mean, true. What's up, man?
Hey.
So tonight's topic, we talking about domestic violence in America, man, is how out of control it's getting. For those of you just tuning in to the F What You Thought podcast, I'm your host, Larry Gilbert. This is my beautiful and talented wife, Miss Kashonda Gilbert, and we've had some pretty interesting discussion tonight about resolving issues and domestic violence and how things should be handled. Us as fathers, we are charged. It shouldn't just be up to the mamas at this point to just raise the kids. We're also charged with teaching our daughters to keep their hands to themselves.
Yeah.
And if there is a man problem in her life, it's not for her to try to deal with, because that's how she ends up getting hurt. And we're also charged with teaching our sons to not put their hands on these women that they deal with. But if there's a problem, to just get away.
That's why it's so important for men to have close relationships with their daughters, so their daughter will be open and honest with them. She'll be comfortable if there's a situation going on to come and say, Daddy, this is what's going on with me. Because if she's not comfortable with you, or she doesn't feel like she can have any type of conversation with you about what's going on, then she's not going to talk to you. And then she's going to be abused behind closed doors, and it's never going to get resolved. Again, you got to teach your girls, you got to teach your boys how to resolve issues, because if I don't know that if I'm in trouble that it's okay to come talk to you about it, then I'm not going to, right? So that's why it's so important to establish those type of connections early on.
But also talking to the younger generation, if you're being beaten or abused behind closed doors in any way, don't wait till it's too late to reach out and tell somebody, man. Look, if you don't got family around, just get away. Somehow get away. Don't rely on your man to take care of you, or don't rely on your woman to take care of you, because you won't be able to get out of that situation. Cause say exactly, if you get that mad that I can't read, that you have to put your hands on him or her, messed up the whole. Yeah. You're right. You don't need to be in that relationship, because that relationship is toxic as hell. Somebody gonna die. Let's just be real. And I mean, I hate to just jump to the worst possible scenario possible, but that is it. At the end of the day, if you do not leave, somebody's gonna die.
But again, they may not know how to leave. They may feel mentally trapped,
I understand that, but it don't have to be that way, because there's Cuz. Hey, Cuz.
Hi, Cuz.
What's going on, man?
Hi, Cuz.
What's up?
You got it, man. So how you feel about that situation, man?
Man, I just told you. I mean, I feel, be it man or woman, if you have to put your hands on the person that you're supposed to be loving,
Right.
that's the person that you, as a man, that's supposed to be your queen, when you're supposed to be taken care of, and vice versa. As a woman, if that's supposed to be your king, if you got to put your hands on that person, then you don't need to be in that relationship.
Absolutely not.
Period. You need to just walk away. Walk away before it gets ugly.
Yeah.
Real early.
Yeah. Because then it's too late by that point, right? Like,
Exactly. And unfortunately, a lot of us, I'll say from personal experience, a lot of us, men or people, let's say people, family of color.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some of us have experienced and seen that stuff firsthand.
Yeah.
So you know it, and you got to break that cycle.
Yeah.
You know, I got kids. I think we clowned about that before. I got kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, in the household, as a kid's and up and out the house now, I have done in the house. But I had a no hands policy. You know, period. The kids couldn't even fight each other.
Oh man, that's it. Yeah.
They got in trouble.
Exactly. Especially.
Yeah, because I was that traumatized myself, and that's just putting my business out there. You know what I'm saying? I had it to where the kids, and most of my kids was girls.
Right. Yeah.
Ain't happening.
So they already know that if something go wrong, they calling pops right off the back. They already know what time it is.
No, you know what? Honestly, they handled it.
Well, yeah,
Like I
because
said, I had girls.
Yeah.
Still tight. They.
Yeah, that's how you, hey, and that's the way the family dynamic has changed so much. And see, that's that old school family dynamic that we try to instill in our kids, because the family dynamic has changed so much that, you know, I don't get this family where they feel like the streets is tighter to them than their brothers and sisters. Your brother and sister should be your rock. You should be able to lean on one another at any cost, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that with that being said, so much comes between, anything can come between family nowadays. It's as simple as a pencil. Hey, that's my favorite pencil. Now they falling out over a pencil.
Yeah.
You know, that falls on the parents though to kind of keep that knit tight, because if the parents don't do their part, then the kids just gonna have like unrealistic expectations of one another. Like they feel like they're better than the next. So we gotta keep them humble.
Exactly. But that's the part where I'm saying, at least I know if my kids, you know, we didn't, and you know, I got a blended family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got mine, but then you know, we ain't gonna get into that. That's a whole nother topic.
It is.
Right.
That's a whole nother story. A whole nother Sunday night.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But no, you know, like I said, I'm strong with that one.
Yeah.
If you have to put your hands on the other person, you need to go ahead and just walk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, what do you think about, I know we discussed that it's super, super important for a man to make his daughter feel comfortable enough to come and have a conversation with him if there's something going on. Don't you feel like that's something that has the bond that has to be established when they're younger, you know?
And you know what? And I think that bond, I mean, just if you dad, if you pops, you know, that bond's gonna be there naturally. I mean, you know, throwing it back out there. I had to experience that with one of my daughter's guys, you know, and it was ugly.
Yeah.
You know? I'm not gonna put my business in it.
Yeah, call us. We got you. We got you.
But yeah.
You know, but you know what? I fought him. I fought her because one, it wasn't one time, and it shouldn't, as you guys have said, it shouldn't take repetitive happening. It happening more than one or two or three times before you bring it to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you let it go it shouldn't go all the way to the point where, you know, finally you got a busted lip or finally you got a bruise on your face and you can't hide it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it shouldn't have to get to that point.
You can't tell me you walked into no cabinet either when we know what a fist print look like.
Yeah.
I had
He might have walked into a whole bunch of cabinets.
Yeah. He done walked into a couple of doors. Yeah, man, you know.
Yeah.
But it's this younger generation, man. I know that, you know, growing up, I saw it real heavy in the home with the domestic violence thing. You know, I'm putting it out there as a product of domestic violence. It was unnerving, to say the least. It was very unnerving. You come home from school, the police outside the house, you're like, what the? And it's the most embarrassing thing ever as a kid to have to be walking home with your friends and the police outside like, your dad doing it again, huh? Yeah. That's the worst.
Well, see, mine didn't even call the police. Mine just dealt with it.
Yeah.
Mine just dealt with it. You know what I'm saying?
Because it was what they were used to.
Where, you know, it finally came to the surface. And you know what I'm saying? Where then it finally kind of went away, if you want to use that term, where you have a choice but to go away.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. They get adjusted.
It wasn't one or two times that we talked about for years. You know, it was just the way it was.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the reason why I think I'm a big, huge, you know, like I said, you know, kids is going to be kids, and they're going to fight, they're going to fuss, and they're going to argue. Just,
No.
I'll make them hold hands.
Conflict resolution. They teaching them how to resolve issues.
Right. They don't want to hold hands all day long, man. You better not let their hand go.
Listen, that's exactly how I did the boys.
I
Anytime they
remember
thought
that.
they were
used
going
to
to
hold
fight,
hands in the corner.
they used to get so mad.
Hold hands on the couch.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And that right there, because I had girls in the know that I've never spanked my kids.
Yeah.
So the thing is, that right there to me was worse than a spank.
Oh,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Could definitely
Hold hands and sit there on the couch.
On fire, on the inside, burning.
want to choke
Wait.
each other out.
And you got to know these girls. 'Cause these girls
I know they fiery. I know they have to be fiery, okay? Got you.
Definitely. Understood.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man, this is no laughing matter. You know, usually we have a lot of lighthearted subjects, but this domestic violence, man, I was just looking. I was watching the first 48 today, and there was a body found behind an abandoned house. And I said, you know, dude tried to set up like suicide at that, man. Like the girl, she had a gunshot to the head, and then she had a towel over her face. So when the caller said, hey, there's a body in the car with a towel over her face, text message. Her and her boyfriend going back and forth on the text message, right?
Yeah.
And they like, well, it looks like a suicide because the gun's on the floor or whatever. So then they asked what hand she was. They was like, oh, no, that ain't right. You know, the police like, so they got the boyfriend down there. Like, so what happened? Well, you know, my little side piece called and she got the tripping, woo, woo. And, you know, she left. He said she left. So then they let him tell his story. Then they presented him with the evidence. Nah, dog, that ain't how it went down, man. Because judging by that, there's no way she could have shot herself in the head. So you want to try it again, run it back, tell me what really happened. You know what I mean? So then he had to come clean. He was like, well, yeah, we was driving. And, you know, again, like my side piece really did call. And she started tripping. And they tried to say she grabbed a gun, right? So they was wrestling for the gun. And he said that it went off. That's what he said. It went off. So the cops he said, so when it went off, was you pointed at her? He's like, well, yeah. They said, oh, so yeah. So they charged him with murder, you know, domestic violence.
You're coming with me, sir.
Yeah, he got 30 years, but I mean, he shot the girl because he got caught playing. You know what I'm saying? He shot his baby mama, or no, his girl, who left a 9-year-old kid, which is the case in America of so many women leaving kids behind due to domestic violence situations. At early, young kids, you know, we talking 5, 6 babies. These kids ain't gonna never know their mom and daddy again.
No.
So, I mean,
all because he didn't know how to resolve
conflict resolution. Yeah.
conflict. Now she probably was going at him.
And I'm gonna make it lighthearted with it, but he didn't know how to have his stuff in order. If he gonna have his little side,
Come on now.
then he should have had that in order. But
That's
I'm not
true.
condoning
I got you.
side note.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
If he wanted to go, man. Like shit. I told my daughter, I told my oldest daughter's baby daddy a long time ago, man, when they were dating, I said, listen, I know that, you know, you kids, y'all got a way of trying to discipline each other. Y'all young. Dating, if she ever make you mad, just walk away. Don't ever put your hands on her. I had the conversation. I said, don't ever put your hands on her because she got one daddy and you looking at him. And I think I'm charging most daddies with that. All daddies need to have that conversation with whoever their daughter thinks she's dating. Because at the end of the day, the boy need to know that, hey, I'm her daddy and I'm very much involved. So if you want to fight somebody, come holler at me. I can box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can do it however you want to do it.
And that's exactly what I offered the young man.
Yeah.
A fight.
In the backyard.
To tussle.
Said, you know what? I love you. Got my grandson.
Right.
I know this and that. So we need to resolve it.
Right.
You want to hit on something. Here I am right here.
Child, let's do it.
And you know what? And he manned up. Whatever. I'm not gonna put no. Yeah. But guess what? I made him gonna do it again.
There you go. Then. Well said. Well said. He's not allowed to do that one again. He know better.
And see, that's good because as a father, you establish those boundaries. You know, you let him know, hey, I do that. So in those cases, those are the women that stay. Because you were asking, well, why do women stay in those situations? That's why they stay, because they feel like there's no other way out.
But yeah, I don't understand why they would stay.
You know what? I agree with there's no other way out, but on the same token, I think they stay not because of no way out. I think it's because they don't have almost like what you said, they don't have the resources to go nowhere. You know, let's just say he's a breadwinner in the house, and they don't have no money. You know, I think I told, I don't know who I told. I told I know it. I told somebody probably about a year ago, and it's right or wrong. I said, you know what? You need to have your little stash money just in case you need to get on up out of there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you need to have no thousands of dollars, but you should have you a little $5,000-$6,000. So if you need to get you a bus ticket, a plane ticket, get you an apartment somewhere else, whatever, especially if you got kids. You know?
Man, you got to be able to put that first and last month's rent down, man. You can get it right next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or at least go to your friend and hey, let me rent this room for you for 2, 3, 4 months or whatever. Here a little $500 or whatever, you know. Something.
While I'm getting on my feet.
But on real, a true friend, if you tell them, they gonna go ahead and bring you on in anyway.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
But see, so many people, like I said, stash what's going on. They girl, let me just stay here for a little bit, man. You don't know the situation, and you think, because sometimes they present that their relationship is all to the good on the outside, and it's not all that great. But people ain't blind; they can see what's going on. And sometimes, let's just be real. I'm gonna put it out here too. Sometimes they be dick dumb. They got somewhere to go, but they be dumb on the dick. They are trying to fight other women over something, and then he's slapping her around in front of his girlfriend, and she, why are you doing me like this? Oh, look, man. I'll be home. We'll talk about it when I get home. You know, they be dumb.
Again, I wouldn't say dumb.
Dick dumb.
But I wouldn't say that. But I would say that he may have her mentally. You know, he may have her feeling like I'm all you have. I'm the only person that you can depend on. But that's also, do you get what I'm saying?
I understand, babe.
He can put her in a situation where she feels like this is all I have. So I got to fight for this. Because if without this, I have nothing.
Not really somebody you could depend on.
No,
exactly.
It's
I'm
not.
not going to be in a relationship where I got to get my ass for once a week or even once a month. No, you put your hands on me. I don't care. Me as a man, I'm a grown ass man. if I was in a relationship with a woman and she got to put her hands on me,
I'm out.
You got to get up out of my house.
Now,
That's true.
like I talked about that a couple of
You got to go.
yeah, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago because I shared that I was, you know, prior to my marriage now, I was in a physically abusive and mentally abusive relationship with a woman. And that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to fight all the time. Like, hey, man, look, I'm out. Like, I was out. And even after I was gone for a couple of years after I left, she was still trying to holler. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I remembered that. Like, but see, men, they suffer in silence so much. Then when it comes to services,
Because you're supposed to be a man.
you're supposed to be a man.
You know what I mean? You're supposed to be a man. You know what I'm saying? That's why men don't say nothing.
Yeah.
But how long will you guys, I mean, what type of excuses do you make up in your mind when a woman is putting her hands on you to make you stay?
I mean, we think.
And if you don't go, guess what? You can have everything up in this month. Guess where I'm going? I'm out.
You out.
I'm
Gotta
out.
be.
I'm out. I grab my little legal papers or whatever. My little birth certificate,
Yeah.
little passport.
Be gone.
I could buy all this stuff again. Guess
Yeah.
what?
Man.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Got to.
Because there's no price on peace. There is no price on peace. So,
No.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
good.
And that's the big one. Like how can you go to work if you got to worry about what your woman doing at home? If you can't trust her, you can't work. They say a scared man can't work. Neither can an insecure man.
Yeah.
An insecure man can't go to work.
If you don't trust her, then you don't love her. You know what I mean? To me, to trust is a part of love. So if I don't trust you, then
We ain't gonna be together.
it's a part of love. I mean, I'm not really loving you. I mean, there's more elements just to the word love than just love. Love to me is you got to trust, respect, and all the rest. You know what I mean? All the other things that fall into play with that.
All of that.
So, yeah. So if somebody is not going, if I don't trust you, guess what? No.
Hell no. Yeah, because I got to go to work. I can. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit in this chair in this corner talking about, well, I gotta make sure my woman don't go out and be with Big Buck over there. Cause
Every time the phone rings.
What you call him, Big Buck?
Big Buck, yeah, you know, Big Buck over there got a tree trunk swinging, waiting on your woman to come. That ain't no good, man. You coming home trying to do, hey man, what's up? This feel a little different. I was with a real man. Oh, okay, so that's how you feeling?
So you think that's why men
What?
fight?
You know what? A man that's got any sense of moral compass within themselves, they gonna know what time it is. They gonna get up out of here. I'm not gonna stick around. If you want to be there, I love you. It's gonna hurt, but I'm not gonna hit you. I'm all right. I'll
But
holler
my
at
question to you was, why did I
stick around?
did you
Because I
make in
kept-
your mind?
Well, see, for me, I was thinking that, you know, every time we had a conversation, oh, okay, she ain't gonna do it again.
Oh,
She
it's
ain't
gonna
do it
get better.
again.
That's
It's gonna
how
get
women
better.
think. He's
You
not
know?
gonna do it again. This situation's going to get better.
Oh, I need you. Don't got so I'm feeling needed. Okay, so you promise you ain't gonna do it again. All right, okay. You know, okay, I'm not gonna do it again. Okay. So I'm gonna stick around. All right, you know, I'll give you one or two. You know, I'll give you that one or two, and then after that, you get no more. Because honestly, I never loved her anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know why I was even there.
Better than me. He touched me, I'm out.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the whole cheating. She not only did she like to fight, she was cheating.
I'm not saying that a man is better than a woman or this or that, but a man's stronger than a woman. But if a woman thinks she's strong enough over a man, not saying, you know, I'm not saying this or that, but if she's strong and thinks she's stronger than a man and can put her hands on a man, this and that, then guess what? Shoot, I want a feminine woman.
All right, you want to go out there and be the. She need to be a whole stud out here. That's the case, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Said your girl was a dyke.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
Shit. It's the real though, man. Like I you know, it was a growing pain. I know that if my woman was to hit me now, I don't know. We ain't gonna make it. We're not gonna make it.
Well, you're not. That's the thing. Like, once you've been in an abusive relationship, you know, moving forward after you get out of that relationship, you're like, I'm never going to do that again. Or, oh, I've seen this before. I've been in this space before and I'm uncomfortable. You know what makes you uncomfortable, but you have to experience that first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that I didn't see it. You know what I mean? I didn't see the domestic violence because I was so young, but I knew it existed. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it existed. I saw, like, the after effects of it. But I was still a kid, so I was just like, that's
they
different.
both walking around with black dark shades on their face. Talking about,
yeah.
Witness with my own eyes,
Yeah.
ran from it the whole 9 yards. And we ain't talking about 1 or 2 times. We talking about years.
Yeah.
Years before. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna put no name, but you already know when Aunt T moved on up there with us.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons Aunt T moved from down Arkansas on up that way.
Yeah.
To be with us.
Yeah.
To help with that situation.
Yes.
mm-hmm.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. So it's like we know it exists. So, but when it happened to me, it was so crazy.
Disclaimer, it wasn't with me. So that's the disclaimer. I never, ever meet. So.
But this is important. This is important for y'all to understand because it's so weird that I feel like men who do that, like the karma comes back. And I feel like the karma may be in the shape form of another man, you know? And not like that, but I'm talking about, now listen. So like my experience, the first time I got hit, my daddy was on the phone, right? I was on the phone with my daddy and the dude was like, who is that? And I'm like, it's my daddy, you know?
Hey, you went on the phone with me. Stop.
Shut up. No, but seriously, I was really on the phone with my father and my father heard over the phone me being abused. And he was so far away. My daddy was like way in Washington somewhere, you know? So it was the situation where my dad had to try to figure out where I was and call the police and send the police there because I couldn't get to a phone. There was nothing that I can do. I had the phone, but then after that, it was gone. I'm getting locked in closets. I'm getting locked in the house. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it was a really, really bad situation for me. Didn't take me long. It was not going to be years, was not going to be months. I got on up out of there. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's only because I know what I don't want. I know what I'm not going to deal with. You know what I mean? Like, and now after I've experienced it, but again, you have to experience it first or see it to understand, okay, this is the red zone. You know, this is not okay. And from here, it's just going to get worse, you know? So I just think it's so important that we, one, again, teach our children conflict resolution. And then if they have to experience those things, it is kind of important that we get some type of therapy or see, you know, the people who have been in those situations see their situation resolved or see them happy. But if we still see them in that situation, that still will mess us up mentally too, you know?
Right, because
I mean, you never left.
Even after your situation.
Myself behind it, you know what I'm saying? Where I made it to where my kids, when I say they couldn't, I ain't talking about as teenager. I mean as kids. Yeah. Like, you know, kids.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, with Jess, I remember one distinctly. Jess had to be probably about 6, and Leilani was probably about 3, somewhere in there. 7, about 7 and 3, somewhere. It was just, and they had this man. Yeah, but they little, you know, like kids. I mean, I can sit up here and say, me and my sister used to argue all the time. You already know which one. You already know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not wow. But yeah, we can be a bit much.
I think my sister traumatized me, man, because she beat me up when I was little all the time.
Yeah, but it's because they're aggressive, right?
Miles beat the brakes off me, man.
Aggressive.
More than aggressive.
I mean,
Miles beat me up, man. Had me all messed up. You hear me?
but when you say that, you also have to look at the fact that everything you saw, she did too. She was older. Do you get what I'm saying? So in her mind, it could be anything you say, regardless. You're still the opposite sex. Do you understand what I'm saying? So she may feel the need to protect or to, you know what I mean, to lash out at you because this is what she's seen, and she doesn't know. She doesn't know if there's a line because it's what she saw. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You saw it, but she saw it too. So how can you say that it upset you and this is how you reacted and not think that she's supposed to have any type of reaction to what she's experienced?
I didn't. Well, I was
You
the
can just
little
go ahead
brother.
and say you ain't think about it like that. It's okay.
I was the little brother, so.
Well, I was the big brother. She was just bigger than me. And she's still bigger than me.
So she tried to bully a little bit.
That's exactly what she is. She a bully to this day.
I'm sure she's not a bully.
Oh man, no.
Don't care.
I'm sure she's not a bully because
And guess what? If she gonna fight 3,000 miles to come out here,
she probably will. We will.
What?
She beats me.
No.
I'm scared. She's a bully too. Yeah.
The way that we look on this screen, how much bigger he is than me, that I'm really only 5 feet tall. Okay.
I'm only 6'1". I mean 6 feet even.
And
but,
maybe that.
But she beats me. She
I do
bullies
not.
me. She does bully me because you seen it. You seen the show. She bullies me all the time. What can I say? I can't.
Hey, I ain't in that one.
Okay, cause you know.
I'm tired of you bullying me.
Has it been an hour, y'all? What are y'all?
Wow,
what else
you
do
ready to
y'all
get
talk
off
about?
the show?
What else do y'all want to talk about? Yo, I definitely.
This is a
appreciate-
sensitive topic. This topic is real though. Like the way it goes down. I mean, it's happening far too often out here, man, and we got to do something about it. We have to. There's nothing
So we've established
as parents.
So we've established that we need to make sure that we teach